Hey gang, how y'all doing? It is August 29, 2016, and I don't care how many days it is to Korea or how many days it has been since Rio de Janeiro. I just want to talk about some stuff because the internet's down. Had my best weekend ever on eBay. Sold over 40 items. Was only able to ship not even half of them this morning before had some sort of server problems with eBay. But nevertheless, I ran those packages and I figured I'd come back and talk about money. Maybe some of the currency that I've accumulated over the years, just some pocket change, but maybe some Olympic coins, and then talk about opening ceremonies and transitioning to the Cashless society. I'll talk a little bit about that, and then opening ceremony swag and some really cool stuff. So we'll go from there. So when you travel around the world, you pick up some change, and for instance, you got these Russian rubles. Okay, those are 10-cent pieces. They had some Olympic coins. Here's a, I think it's a 50-cent piece. Okay, but it has the Olympic torch on it from 2014. Kind of neat. They also had a really cool, I don't call it paper money a lot, but they had this 100 ruble note with a snowboarder on one side and the Olympic Park on the other. That's at Fish Stadium when they had opening ceremonies. This is just $3, but it looks really neat. I picked up a few of those. When I was in Brazil, I picked up some of these really cool $1 coins with that Paralympic mascot. I think his name's Tom. And this is, I think, a Paralympic swimmer. Got a rower there. Those were all Paralympic. The valuable ones were like the Olympic ones. Here's an Olympic London flag handover with the Olympic rings. And I got a bunch of those, but this is like my last one. Let's see. Some other Brazilian currency. They had these really chunky 50-cent pieces. Kind of chunky, you hear that? I used to have some Brazilian pounds that were kind of the same way. But, excuse me, those were British pounds. But I must have been to the UK a bunch of times, and all I've got is these little itsy-bitsy cheap coins from Britain, What's really weird about British coins, besides having 1-cent pieces, they have 2-cent pieces. This is a 2-cent piece. Kind of big compared to their 1-cent piece. I guess it'd be a little bit bigger. But I spent all my pounds, and they were pretty impressive coins. Let's see, we got a miscellaneous coins there, some Canadian coins. Here's some Turkish lira from when I went through Istanbul. Kind of neat 2-color coins. Of course, I got euros. Euros do the 1 penny and 2 penny type of deal. 5 cents and dimes. But they also have 1 and 2 euro coins. That's a 2 euro. And that's a 1 euro. So they do coins a lot in the European Union. Let's see. Chinese coins. Oh boy, they're really cheap aluminum coins. Here's some pennies, but they're kind of neat. Those are just pennies. Let's see. I think that's just about it. Here's a Canadian loonie from Vancouver. But even cooler than coins or medals, I'm going to show you this one medal that I sold today I'm never going to see again. This is a participation medal from Sarajevo, 1984. And I had just one of these that I purchased, and I flipped it, and well, there it is. Kind of neat. And it transitions to the whole cashless society. When I was in Rio, we had to use these bus passes, okay? I think we talked about that. Instead of having, free transportation, we had to purchase these bus passes for 1 day. There's a 1-day one. And use those instead of using cash. And it turns out these were highly collectible. I brought these home and I've been selling these, and people love them. In addition to that, when I was in the Heineken house, you had to buy Heineken money for their Heineken house. And you'd put cash on this. I don't want to show you the number because there's still cash on it. And after the Olympic Games, I go to their website and get my cash back. You know, maybe that's a good idea. What was really cool there in Rio is I was able to get this Bradesco card. I can't show you that number too fast. Anyways, you've probably seen it. So it's a Bradesco card. Oh well, take the money off if you want. But there was a little bit of funds on here that was good for a year. You know, I put like 20 bucks on it, so I spent half of it. The card's probably more collectible than anything on there. And of course it has that chip, right? And you think that chip's something new? Here's an opening ceremony card from Atlanta 20 years ago. And look what's on the back of this card. A chip. This was a gift at opening ceremonies in Atlanta. With everybody who had a seat, you'd get a package, you know, at your seat. And this, first off, right there, $5. Kind of neat. And that brought me the transition to opening ceremonies. This year at the opening ceremonies, not only did you not get $5, all you got was one of these programs, which is a really nice program. Okay. Probably thumb through it, take a peek at some of the stuff. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But in Atlanta, not only did you get that $5 gift card, you got this really cool pin in this really nice box. Along with a bunch of other swag. I don't have one of those for an example, but I have a swag bag that I received in Salt Lake. The last Olympics I went with my mom and Jamie and Clint. Anyways, you got this swag bag on your seat. And I'll show you what was on the inside of one. Let's take a peek. You got a seat cushion. You got like a poncho. You got some card to hold up. You got a program. You got some Kleenex. You got a flashlight. No batteries. I took out the batteries. You got a little pre-ceremony program. You got a hand warmers. You got some artsy-fartsy card, whatever that is. You got a whistle, colored. There were 5 different whistles, different tones, different colors. I think that's it. I thought there was a lip balm. You also got a lip balm. I don't see it in here. But this is an open one. It wasn't really a complete one. There may be 1 or 2 other items. But it shows you all the swag. I don't know if you can see all the swag that you got with in Atlanta. I mean, excuse me, in Salt Lake. But with Rio, you really got nothing. And it is the same sort of attitude that they had with their athletes. When their athletes got their gold medals, they simply handed them a gold medal. And instead of a wreath of flowers, or like a wreath of Olympic leaves or something to put in their hair, all they gave them was one of these. Okay. And this is a little 3D PVC sculpture that was available for sale at the Olympic stores throughout Rio and Sao Paulo. And I saw it on the first time to Sao Paulo, and I go, that's pretty neat. And it was only 100 reals, which is 30 bucks. And I go, man, I should get one. And by the time I got to Rio and went to the first gift shop, they were unavailable. Once there was a medal ceremony and these things would be given to the medal earners, they were unavailable everywhere. When I went back through Sao Paulo on the way home, I thought I'd find one. Instead, I found myself hungry because I went back through security, and then I couldn't get any food because the international terminal was kind of closed. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But anyways, these are kind of neat, huh? I got 3 of these from somebody on eBay from China. Boxes were kind of crushed in the international transport, but this is kind of one. And maybe there'll be 1 or 2 for sale on my site, or maybe there'll be, since the boxes are crushed, I may just give them away. So that's about it. I showed you that pin, that the opening ceremonies pin. You know, those are fine and dandy. This is a participation pin from Atlanta. Those went to every athlete, like that medal, that the Sarajevo medal I showed you earlier. But all that really matters is winners' medals, right? And I guess along with winners' medals, this is a winner's pin, a silver medals pin from Athens that I have for sale on my site. But again, this really means nothing because if you heard my blogs before, all that matters is gold medals. And because winning is all that matters, participating is a whole nother story. I'm going to leave it at that. Do svidaniya.